All right. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Express Lane. This is Jeff Carroll, sci-fi writer, sci-fi pioneer, comic book dude, filmmaker, all that good stuff. So I want to talk today. This is what I'm calling this is Dune, the blackety black review. But really, it's a commentary that I feel I'm like the only one that feels this way, or is speaking out on it. I haven't been to a Comic-Con since Dune came out. So it only came out Thursday. I'm going to one today. I'm going to ask people, and it almost is like why I feel we need science fiction writer conventions, which are different than comic book conventions, but Comic-Con and some of the bigger comic book conventions have them. And it's because I think we need to talk about the stories in these science fiction movies. And that's what I want to talk about in this video, really about Dune. Of course, it's beautiful picture. It's like Creator, it's like Tenet, it's like Avatar, it's really good. But I think the story was something that threw me back to the 80s. Movies have always been capable of being good, no matter what the technology. So CGI isn't some type of miracle technology that makes movies that aren't good stories great. It didn't work for Tenet. Creator is struggling. There's a whole bunch of movies. It's just like artwork in a comic book. People swear, it's the artist. Yeah, but artists, no matter how good the artwork is going to make a story that doesn't make sense, that's corny, that's problematic, better. It's not going to make it digestible. So for me, as a writer, I do watch stories. I can't get into a movie that I can't get into the story. So that said, right, Dune is, in story, a parody of the post-exploration era of European explorers around the world. Now, I say post because right after they explored the world, their first, explorers, Columbus, laid the groundworks for exploitation of resources, whether it was the human resources in slavery or it was the land resources, the product resources, that being cotton, sugar cane, and tobacco. But tobacco really wasn't that big of a deal. Sugar cane and cotton. Sugar is like a drug, and cotton is clothes, right? So when I watched Dune, I saw that parody. It stuck out to me. Now, me being a person of color, a black person, and African American, all of those titles work for me, and I'm fine. I am a descendant of people who were the byproduct of the resources that were stolen from Africa. Just like the Bob Marley song, stolen from Africa. Yes, no doubt. Hustled, traded from with the Arabs, whatever you want to call it. My people came over here without wanting to. They didn't run across the border. They didn't come here on a ship. They didn't come here on the Mayflower. They were stolen from Africa, right? That's one side. Then there's another side of my family, on both my mother and father's side, that is indigenous American. I got one of the divisions of the Seminoles, which is probably just the Cree, which is everything in Florida. That was the biggest tribe. And then up north, where my father's family's from, I got Cherokee. So I got indigenous on both sides, right? They were the ones that were the people that lived here, and they're practically gone. Now, we do have tribes from the Midwest that have survived, no doubt, and we got pockets of tribes on the East Coast, but there are tribes that were practically, annihilated, and so when I watch something like Dune, I can't get that out of my head, right? And I live in a place where I'm an immigrant in a city of migrants. And so the mentality isn't as frustrated with America as it is amongst Americans. Now, these are people of color, right? Black and brown, Caribbean, South Central America, right? Their beef is with their country. I don't know how they express it, but a lot of times they don't have the frustration that African Americans have towards the white man, right? And that extends into science fiction writing and everything. So in Africa, there was a beautiful movie Ryan Coogler directed, Wakanda, Black Panther, and over there they had a thing where they called them colonizers. They may call them colonizers in Africa. We call them oppressors, right? Because they didn't colonize us here. They were our enslavers, right? But we took the colonizer word, we ran with it because they also colonized Africa and the Caribbean and other places where we were, right? So they were colonizers. None of that is attractive, right? Whether you're an oppressor, enslaver, or colonizer, none of that is cool with the people that are colonized, oppressed, or enslaved, right? So for me, when I watch Dune, part 1, part 2, I'm not in it, right? I'm not into, like, all of the houses could get it for me. Because the people, gosh, I can't remember the tribes' names, the groups, the houses, or whatever. There's one house, I'm going to explain the world to you. There's one house that is on the planet with the spice, right? And that's an analogy could be for sugar. I mean, they weren't looking for America when Columbus and Americus Vespucci and them came. They were looking for a way to go to, to Asia to get spices. So that is also symbolic, right? Henry Hudson, the Northern Passage, this guy died trying to get to Asia even after they had discovered America, right? So even after De Soto, the Spaniard conquistador, he went up the Mississippi thinking that that would lead him around America. You know what I'm saying? And he killed plenty of indigenous along the way. You know, him and his quest for, fountain of youth and gold and riches. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities in this. But in the Dune story, the spice that they have, it damn near gives them superpowers, right? It gives them long life. It gives them good health. So they become like addicted to this thing. And they land on the planet. Now, this is the part I don't fully understand, and it may be clear. I don't know if there was people on the planet. That's fine, all right? There might not have been people on the planet, but there are people on the planet when they discovered it, right? There are people on the planet there now, and that's Zendaya's tribe or group, right? And they are oppressed by Dude's tribe, house that is mining the spice. Now, there are other houses and around this populated universe that are competing with each other over various things. The spice trade is one of those coveted things, very much like how the Spanish and French fought over the human trade in slavery or in the transatlantic slavery or whatever, human trade, human trafficking. You got to get these new terms in there because they're important. But yes, Spain had plenty of colonies, but sugarcane was popular in certain ones. And the French, English, the Dutch, the Portuguese, all these different European houses, countries, whatever you want to call it, they fought each other over the control of these resources, or control over these places, right? So that's also symbolic in Dune, right? So in the story, one of the houses in the first movie, one of the houses comes and destroys and attacks what do you call it? The house with dude from that played Wonka in the last Wonka movie. I can't remember his name. The young dude, all right, Zendaya's lover. Okay, or they're gonna get to their love interest. We know where it's going. Okay, his tribe is attacked. His father's killed. He and his mom's going to run. He hooks up with Zendaya's tribe, a group of people. I don't even know if they got a house. I don't even know if they were a house before that. Whatever, they're oppressed people. And in the sequel, the second one we just watched, he rises to respect because he can fight and he has an ability to have prophetic visions, right? He can see things that may come. And the other house takes control over that place. So now he's talking to Zendaya's tribe. Yo, I know the people. I can take them over and destroy. Now, he ain't making no promises that they won't be oppressed anymore. He hasn't said that. I never heard those words come over his mouth. He said, I want to kill them. Help me kill them. If we get enough people, we'll be able to kill them. That's all he put on the table. He didn't say, my bad for oppressing y'all, or his mother was there. She never apologized. They don't even act like they're oppressors. They act like they just refugees. And they're not regular people in the oppressive tribe or house. They're the leaders. They're the decision people. They're the people that could have regulated equality on that planet and equal trade for the spice. I mean, sure, we could have legislated some rules around how much spice could be traded, or even if it didn't trade at all, they could have brought it to a vote, something. But the people that live there are so oppressed, they live underwater. They got to drink their own body water because there's no water available because it's a desert planet, very much like the Middle East or Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Iran, and all them. And the people look and dress like Middle Easterners, Arabs. So that's another thing, but I'm not Arab, so I can't really tell you exactly the accuracy, but they look like Arabs to me, right? And I don't know if their religion or culture is anything like pre-Muslim, pre-Islam Arab culture, or if it is like Islam. Probably a little bit more familiar with that. But yeah, so then those two things happen. And in the end of the sequel, he kills the king of the invading house. Now he fully avenged the death of his father. But instead of going with Zendaya and saying, yo, we are now going to be able to live, there's still other houses, and I get that. And he would have to defend himself from that, and I get that. But to solidify it, he doesn't have to. But one of the things he can do is marry the king that he killed's daughter, and he makes that proposition. And for me, sure, there's other houses to go out there, but it reminds me of Pocahontas, number one. And you know how she ended, because that's a real story. And Avatar, with Zoe Saldana. I have to say this in here, but I remember the line that Laz Alonso said, you mated with him? Because these are the people actively destroying their land. And sure, he is not exactly like those people, no doubt. Nobody's saying that the dude in Avatar is like those people. But in America, African Americans, they would have a zero tolerance. Those are the oppressors. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Sally Hemings didn't willingly give herself to Thomas Jefferson. That had to be, that was during slavery. Are you out of your mind? I don't know, you know, how come that is not a problem. But to me, that was a problem throughout the whole movie. It kept me from really enjoying it as much as other people. I definitely give it my money. I still go to watch movies and read books, comics and stuff. A large percent of that is to just study what's going on out there. But y'all tell me if I'm, you know, too blackety black or whatever, and I haven't rated the film because that's a problem for me until I get people to give me their opinion on that. And if I'm bugging, let me know. And if I'm bugging, I'm not going to change my opinion because it is what it is. And if it's my deficiency that keeps me from moving forward in this world of equality and diversity, fine. I'm a dinosaur from a bygone era, and I don't mind being that because I think it's significant and it's relevant. But anyway, Jeff Carroll, Sci-Fi Express Lane. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. I do this for the few people that watch every time they get a subject, I'm with it. So that's why I do it. All right, peace.